He's moving forward with his MCV look. Aggressive base push. Hadn't had time to switch to the combat tab yet. And here we go, look, my APC soaking up fire. It's still alive. Hero APC.
Full control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game on Kosovo map. I'm using Russia and my opponent's using Germany for this one. This is my first game of the day. It's actually later on, very late in fact. So I hadn't had a game today until this point, and it's quite late on. I was just basically thinking it was a bit of a warm-up game, you know, but when I saw this player, I knew it was going to be a good game. It always is against this player. And I'm sending my usual 4 riflemen out and about, but my opponent, he's gone for an engineer straight away. Now that's not a bad idea on this map, but you send a rifleman with him, and if I had the engineer first, I wouldn't ever send him first. I'd send a rifle first. But these 2 rifle scouts that are hunting engineers, they actually escort the engineer. And these 2 guys, they're watching in case an engineer is sent there, but he sent an engineer with no backup here. So my 2 riflemen can catch him. Now, I saw he'd captured it quickly. I shot the barrels and it got him. But these riflemen have got straight past my second rifle guard over here, and I haven't discovered any engineers on this over here yet. But I know he's captured this, but I'm grouping my infantry together and sending my engineer. I want to capture that. But as usual, I've sent a few rifles back to my base. They should have stayed at the base from when they were trained, to be fair. But my opponent sent all his rifles here, look, so it looks like he's going in for a nice early attack. But the engineer, he didn't clear out this area. And for a player who was so good at hunting enemy engineers, I'm surprised to see him do that and be so reckless with his engineers. Look, you see, I found him. The engineer can't even shoot the barrels to take us both out. So I stopped that capture. And look there, you see, he can't see this because I'm out of his oil derrick's view range. And now he hasn't got an oil derrick's view range. But he's attacking my power plant. And I haven't got many units on site. But look at where he stood. It was the perfect position where my units couldn't even fire back. I don't know quite how he managed that. It was maybe he didn't mean to, and it was lucky. I don't know. But these guys next to my power plant couldn't fire back at his guys. It was interesting, the angle. So maybe going at the corner makes... So his infantry basically were like here. Like that, basically. In like to the corner of a power plant's view range. But he's got another engineer, so that's 2 he's lost. I've killed 2 engineers, and he's securing this power plant while I'm going to take the central one. So I've got 3, not power plant, sorry, oil derrick, and I've got 2 oil derricks at the moment, and I'm capturing my 3rd. And we've both got a scout vehicle now. And I'm looking for these riflemen and found them. And look, he got away. I was expecting him to go back, carry on the direction I saw him, but then I turned back because I saw the ranger. And I'm trying to protect my engineer from the ranger. But he's taken this oil derrick back. And I haven't left any rifle guards like I usually do. So, yeah, it was the first game of the day, alright, you can tell. I haven't got my usual rifle guards here. I haven't been playing a lot, to be fair, the last couple of days. But it doesn't take much. Couple of warm-up games, I'm soon back on form again. But these guys escaped. There's 6 riflemen, and I've got a technician down there. I've told him to go and make himself useful. Because I had to sell a power plant because of I had to sell a refinery because of my power problems, but he's picked up his engineer there, so he's escaped. But he didn't capture this one. Oh, look, he stopped to shoot my engineer, and it gave me just the moment I needed to finish the ranger off. So we've got a capture here. But these guys could have killed my engineer, look. And he should be able to see that. He's actually using move command. And my APCs, he knows it's there anyway. And he's probably thinking I've got more units outside view range. But he's brought his second construction yard up front, his second MCV. These rifles are here. I'm moving my second MCV out. He's going to make my first expansion. Now my opponent's moving a forward central expansion through the centre of the map by the look of it. And he's got a base defence. He's gone for a turret. Because if he can take out tanks at this early point and leave me without tanks, say, look, I've only got one heavy tank by the looks of it. So if he could take out my first one or two, it is give him a nice advantage, and that's what the useful thing about an early turret, especially if it's with a forward expansion like that, because turrets are very effective. Now I dropped the engineer off, luckily. And because I thought I've got to use the APC, I haven't got many tanks. I think there's two, and the second one hasn't even arrived. And he's moving forward with his MCV, look. Aggressive base push. Hadn't had time to switch to the combat tab yet. And here we go, look. My APC soaking up fire. It's still alive. Hero APC. Now he should be sent to for repairs after that. But the MCV... He's just getting away, and here's mine. I've packed up this one, and I'm not using the command that I'm learning to, but I do most of the time now. And here we go, I'm continuing the attack because I know I've destroyed most of his army in that battle. And then there goes my APC. It's the fastest unit, so it was up front. And there's more tanks and stuff joining the front line. I'm still building refineries. And here we go, I'm destroying ore trucks at the same time as destroying his army. Get that tank into screening position, look, because he's placing pillboxes, turrets. The turret, he's telling it to attack a tank, so that was good, but it didn't get a chance to, sadly. And there you go, it's pillbox. Now, when I moved that, I was using the Alt Move command, where you hold down the Alt key and move it. So he's called it, my opponent. That was a quick and brutal game. Yeah, that was a rough one for a first warm-up game. But I'll go through the graphs and charts. I'm going to add a second replay to this. So there you go, yeah, the army graph. There was early combat, you know, so we were both struggling to build up forces, although we both did start to increase army size a bit more towards the end. It's just my opponent was behind after this engagement here. He was in a bad way. But it is a trait of this player now. He uses aggressive base push. Sometimes he uses it and solely uses that as his tactic. Now it is good because if you're attacking with base defences and MCV all the time, it does make you a good player. And I've seen him do it very well. But here's the earnings graph. It looks like he was actually doing as well as me. It was just only at the end he wasn't. But yeah, he's I'd say overall it was about even that during the battle. My finishing army, I've only got 4 heavy tanks. I've still got my engineer. There he is, where he got dropped off by the APC with his wounds from the ranger and a few infantry. Combat chart, I killed 79 of my opponent's units. My opponent killed 21. Blimey, I thought there was more combat than that. I destroyed 20,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets though, but my opponent destroyed 3,500 credits worth of my assets. That's not good. That's not like him. I lost a structure, my opponent lost 4. My army value is 14,000 though, so for 7 minutes and a decent bit of combat, not bad. Support powers, nah, too soon. Production, I'm building barracks because I need to get 7 barracks as soon as possible. At this point I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm about to place 5, and I would have obviously placed it at the front line. But I quickly build 7 barracks, because that's how you get your infantry production training as quickly as possible. Got 7 ore trucks, got my 2 oil derricks. Yeah, it's a 4 grand of cash. My opponent's got 2 grand. Not bad. I earned 40 grand, my opponent earned 34. Basics, I was at 27 actions per minute. My opponent was at 43, giving plenty of orders. There you go, there's the charts and graphs for that one, and I'm going to add a second replay to this post, just to make it a little bit more substantial for you.
Terminated.
And it's the last game I
control
fought.
initialized.
Now, our first game was on Kosovo. This is our second battle, my second game of the day, and my opponent was waiting for a game, and I think he was away from keyboard or something, so I left the game and set one up. So when he joined me immediately, I chose the map he had and asked if that's what he wanted. So that's the reason we're fighting on Amsterdamned, even though I'm the admin. It was my game. We're on Amsterdam because I asked my opponent if he would like the map he would have chosen. And he said so. He said that was right. Okay. So I'm sending my 4 rifles out. And this time he's sending a couple of rifles to make sure his engineer is escorted. Now you have to do that, especially after what I did last time, killing 2 or more engineers. And you see my engineer, I'm not even sending him there unguarded. I won't do it. You see that? Look, rifles first. It's just a few moments delay. Yeah, and he's capturing already. He'll be capturing sooner, earning from it sooner than me. But it's a few seconds, and I'd rather be safe, you know. I was close to his, so I don't want to get caught out. But his engineer's going to get caught out by a rifleman. I've got him. Look, there you go, and he's a veteran straight away. And it looks like I've moved past his oil derrick. Now he's come back. These 2 escort rifles have failed their job. Now I've lost my veteran, sadly, but my opponent's sending rifles over there, look, to the hospital. Maybe he thinks my engineer's going to head straight for it, but I'm not. I'm going to go for this instead. But I've sent a few rifles. Look, they can go back to base, especially with what he did in the last game where he sent early rifles to attack a power plant. That was a problem. But I'm using a different build order in this game. What I'm doing is, it's an early kind of tech build order so I can get Mammoth tanks as quickly as possible while still having a decent army. It's a 2 refinery build. And normally, I think I'm building my war factory now, look, yeah, and my opponent is as well. But I'm moving forward to secure the oil derrick. Got my engineer there, and you see my rifles. I've got rockets training now, but I need to get a decent group up here if I'm so close to the enemy base. He's got these rifles out of position. They have been doing no good at all because my engineer didn't go over to the hospital. So he's checking if I'm taking that hospital, I guess. I'm not, I'm taking this. And they can see him, but my engineer's escort is substantial. And now I've placed this war factory, but I shouldn't have placed it there. I was distracted and placed it without thinking. I should have placed it here or here so that there's my scout vehicle and my opponent's got a ranger. But I should have placed it next to the ore patch so that ore trucks that are built at the war factory can go straight into mining with no delay. So don't place your war factory like that. And now I've got the war factory, I'm building the service depot, and my opponent got a few crushes, but he's right to back off. I nearly finished that APC. And my opponent is building his service depot. I'm ready to place mine, and it's been delayed. I was obviously distracted trying to take out that vehicle, and my opponent, what's that? Oh, it's actually a light tank, sorry, and he's attacking my oil derrick. So I ran my APC straight through them. I didn't see many rockets, so I just thought squish. And then when I came out the other side, there are no rockets, so I could move back. But this base defense was placed perfectly to catch me, and I'm being run down and shot as I'm escaping by troops. And I thought, actually, that's not good. It's turned the situation around. So I'm building barracks because you have to maintain your standard sort of build with your early units, and that means building your early group of barracks. You can't just carry on with one. I'm building my third now, and these ore trucks, you see, because I haven't placed them right, they've gone to this field, so he's had to turn back. That's time wasted. That's harvesting time. It should be mining immediately. That's why you place your refineries and your war factories next to your main ore patch. So yeah, I'm building my radar dome now. And I'm at 5,000 army value, my opponent's at 3,900, and my opponent's scouting with his ranger. So he's trying to... I'm sending out some early rifle scouts, look, and they're being picked off, so I've got to watch it. Yeah, he turned that around because I had to get away when he placed that pillbox, and he gunned down a fair few units. Now I've built my MCV, my second one, so I'm moving it forward, and I originally thought of placing it here like I usually would, but I thought I want to actually try and cut off my opponent and head off his base pushing, and I thought he'd go here. That was my first guess, and then I thought he'd probably move here, so I want to try and head him off from doing that. See, he's moving out here now, so it is going to where I thought he was. I'm at 9,000, my opponent's at 6,500 army value, and I'm building my first expansion refinery, but my forces are well ready for the enemy, more than ready. Now I need to place this refinery. I'm distracted, look. There you go, placed. So that's okay so far. And I'm building an airfield. Now that is a distraction from getting to the Mammoth tanks, but it's only 20, not even 20 seconds or whatever. It takes hardly any time. And then you start to get your countdown on your support powers. So place your airfield as soon as you can. Now I use the Alt move command, where you hold the Alt key and tell it to move your construction yard, and it packs up and moves in a single command. So I'm used to doing that now, but I've defeated the enemy, and that's exactly what I hoped and planned to do, was head off his base push before even he was prepared. And I noticed an attack coming here, but it's just stray straggler units that are being trained and led into the battle. They're stragglers, too late. And I've got the expansion, I mean the second MCV, and I've got more than adequate forces already on the way to deal with them. So I am now building and about to place the tech centre, and as soon as that Soviet tech centre is placed, as soon as I've got a moment, hurry up, there you go, I can now build Mammoth tanks. So I'll let the current heavy tank build, so I'm not wasted that build time, and then I will be building Mammoth tanks straight after it. But with my standard force, that is, or should be, yeah, it's far larger than the far larger than the enemies now because of the combat I've had. So the army that you build with this build order is sufficient and a decent enough standard force to match a normal opponent and a normal build. And this is a good player, and this matched him, and now I'm building Mammoth tanks during the 7th minute. So it seems to be an effective, decent build, and I've got thieves. I want to send them straight there, look, because I don't destroy my enemies' refineries. I like to steal their money instead. But I haven't got a barracks here yet, so I've just trained a couple of thieves. There you go, look, they're on their way. And now my opponent is actually, he's not committed yet. He's getting his force into a proper formation, tanks up front, and letting me move into his buildings before we start this fight. And I thought I'd continue and press on rather than withdraw, and I've got it. It quickly became apparent that I've got it. Sorry, let me just pause this one moment while I look at the economy situation. My opponent's got no cash, so my thieves are of no use. But they will let the... there you go, look, I've called them in, and my opponent's called it. So, there you go. There's that second one, and that's there's a Mammoth tank just been built. And it's just after 8.5 minutes, actually. I don't think I've got another Mammoth tank, but they take a while to build with one war factory. It's like 48 seconds or something, but I think it goes to about 36 seconds when you build a second war factory. So let's see, I'm actually placing ore refineries, which is essential, but at this point you have a decent starting army. A good basic army with these support powers counting down. You can build a V2 or an aircraft if you have the spare cash, whatever. But we've got Mammoths, look. And then I'll soon have a second war factory. And how many barracks have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3. That's a bit unusual. I should have more than that by now. I didn't lose any structures, did I? No, that's strange. You should add more barracks than that. 3 is not enough. I mean, it was in this case, but it's not. It's not enough. You need at least 6. by this point. Before you build your Mammoth tanks, get up 7 barracks. I didn't realise I'd done that. Maybe something caused me to do so. Right, there's the army graph anyway for you. Some ups and downs there, but my army increased in strength nicely there from the midpoint. And the earnings graph, yeah, my opponent actually did better than me, but there's a massive drop, look, because he didn't expand properly and harvest much of this ore once he did. I mean, he did expand properly with his base push and that, but I soon overran it, so he didn't get a chance to mine it properly, I should say, not expand properly. There's my finishing army. I've got my first Mammoth, 2 heavy tanks, a couple of thieves and some troops. I do like thieves. My army value is 14,000, I think it was in the last game. But at 835, and we've got a Mammoth tank rolling out, you can soon get 3 more barracks easily, and then get your 7th one soon after, or whatever, and then get a second war factory built. You can, you've got artillery already, the ability to build it. It's a decent build. So there's the combat tab. I've killed 138 of my enemy's units. My opponent killed 66 of mine. 14,000 army value, like I said. I didn't lose any structures apparently. My opponent lost 11, so I didn't lose any barracks. I haven't got that excuse, sadly. But I destroyed 34,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 12,000 credits worth of my assets. We have got support powers in effect because I built the airfield as soon as possible, and because I'm Russia, you get the paratroopers and spy plane. Production, I've got, oh look, the Iron Curtain. Very nice, it's almost ready to place. There you go. I'm building a Mammoth tank and some troops, but there you go, I've even got an Iron Curtain ready to place. That might have drained a bit of cash. Ore refinery ready to place. So, yeah, we're doing okay. I could move this to here and then set up a forward expansion and start charging the Iron Curtain. Economy tab, I earned 49,000. My opponent earned 47, so it was pretty even for the economy. Got 7 ore trucks left. Managed to hang on to my oil derrick, the closest one at least. But I'm pushing it for cash, struggling. My opponent's got a little bit, but yeah, I've got 2 thieves ready to take advantage of any cash my opponent would have earned had the game gone on. Basics, I'm at 29 actions per minute. My opponent's at 44 again. There you go, there's the scores and all that. That's everything. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed both games. If you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like. And take good care of yourselves. Until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.